What if the wisest words ever written were not advice, but a blueprint? What if the book of Proverbs was never a collection of moral lessons, but a secret, coded manual on the operant power of your own consciousness? You have been taught to see it as history, as poetry, as religion. But the true key was hidden in plain sight, waiting for the one who was ready not to read the words but to feel their truth within. This is not about belief, it's about law, the immutable law of your inner world. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes we are not going to interpret these ancient words. We are going to ignite them. By the end of this, you won't just understand the source of all wealth and power. You will feel it awaken in you. You've been told that power is something you acquire, a title, a position, a sum of money in a vault. But that's a grand illusion, a shadow play designed to keep you looking outside of yourself. The only true power you will ever possess is the absolute dominion over your own consciousness. That is the beginning and the end of all creation. It's not something you find. It's something you are. Your mind, your disciplined imagination, is the sole operant power in your universe. Every circumstance, every person, every challenge you face is but a reflection of a state you have accepted within. The world doesn't happen to you. It happens from you. When you truly grasp this, the chains of victimhood shatter. You stop reacting and start creating. This isn't a metaphor. It's the fundamental law. The kingdom is within. And the key to that kingdom is the unwavering control of your own mental landscape. This is where all riches begin. The winner's secret? It's not a secret at all. It's a decision. A relentless, unyielding decision to not give their power away. The chaos you see, the noise, the doubt, it's a storm. And most people let the storm toss them about, crashing them against the rocks of circumstance. They surrender their inner world to the outer drama. But the winner, the true master, stands in the eye of that hurricane. Calm, centered. They understand that the storm is a projection of a state of consciousness, a state they refuse to enter. They don't fight the chaos. They simply select a different reality, a different assumption. The quitter's mind is a frantic radio, tuning into every frequency of fear and failure. The winner's mind is a powerful transmitter, broadcasting only one signal. It is done. This is the great divide. Not talent, not luck, but the raw, untamed discipline of a mind that refuses to bow to anything outside of itself. A mind that knows it is the only cause. You think you see the world as it is? Oh no, you see the world as you are. The very people who challenge you, who doubt you, who stand in your way, they are not your enemies. They are messengers, faithfully playing the part you have assigned them in the script of your own mind. Change the script, and they must change their role, or they will exit the stage. This is the operant power of your imagination. It's not a frivolous escape. It is the workshop of God, the forge where realities are hammered into shape. When you change your perception, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the entire world rearranges itself to mirror that new state. People who were once obstacles become allies. Doors that were locked swing open. This isn't wishful thinking. This is the law. The force of a controlled mind doesn't just see a different world. It calls a different world into being. You already are that person you wish to be. Now see the world from that state. This is what was meant by outwitting the devil. The devil is not some external entity with horns and a pitchfork. It is the voice of doubt in your own head. It is the insidious drift of an undisciplined mind, the habit of accepting limitation as fact. Napoleon Hill called this mental authority. It is the starting point of all riches, all success, all freedom. Before you can conquer a single external challenge, you must first conquer the territory of your own consciousness. You must claim your authority over your inner world. The battles for wealth, for health, for love, they are all won or lost here, in the silent theater of your mind, long before the curtain ever rises on the stage of the world. To establish this authority is to declare, with unshakable conviction, I am the source. I am the power. Every other belief is a surrender. Every concession to doubt is a betrayal of this one great truth. You are the king or queen of your inner realm, and that realm is the only one that truly matters. So you hold the key, the understanding that your mind is the supreme creative power. You feel the stirrings of this truth, this immense potential coiled within you. You know now that the game isn't played in the world of effects, but in the world of cause, your own magnificent imagination. But knowing is not enough. Possessing the key doesn't unlock the door. You must have the strength to turn it. You must have the fortitude to hold your assumption, to remain in your desired state even when the shadows of your old world cry out that it isn't true. What is this strength? What is this bridge that carries the blueprint of your imagination across the chasm of doubt? and into the solid reality of your experience. This is where the real work begins. It's the invisible force that transforms knowing into being. But that's only the surface, and so we arrive at the bridge. This invisible force, this silent architect of destiny, self-discipline. It is the sinew that connects the bone of thought to the muscle of reality. You can have the most powerful imagination, a consciousness soaring with divine potential. But without this bridge, your inner creations remain ghosts, trapped in the ether of wishful thinking. Self-discipline is not punishment. It is selection. It is the conscious moment-by-moment choice to remain loyal to your unseen reality. It is the power to hold your assumptions steady when the five senses scream heresy. It is the quiet refusal to entertain any thought, any feeling, that does not align with the state of your wish fulfilled. This isn't about brute force. It's about focus. It is the art of directing your inner world, of commanding your attention to stay fixed upon the desired end. It is the master's secret, the force that makes the intangible tangible. Look around you. Every great achievement, every empire built, every masterpiece created was first a sustained thought, an unwavering assumption held in place by the steel grip of discipline. It's the ability to act with purpose, not from impulse. The animal nature reacts. The divine nature creates. Your impulses, your fleeting desires, your momentary comforts. These are the whispers of the devil, tempting you to trade your infinite birthright for a bowl of temporary pleasure. Discipline is the power to delay gratification not for the sake of suffering, but for the birth of a far greater reward. It is the understanding that the feeling you invest in now becomes the reality you will harvest later. To choose your state deliberately, to feel what you wish to feel until it becomes natural, that is the highest form of operant power. It is the conscious act of planting the seed you intend to grow, rather than allowing the weeds of chance and impulse to overrun your garden. Without the discipline to apply what you know, knowledge is just a decorated corpse. You can read every book, listen to every master, and understand the law perfectly, but if you do not apply it, you have done nothing. The application is the discipline. It is the work done in the quiet chambers of your own mind when no one is watching. It is the mental diet you maintain, refusing to feed on thoughts of lack, fear, or resentment. It is the persistent return to your assumption, your chosen state, 100 times a day if necessary. When you feel the old state pulling you back, discipline is the anchor that holds you in the new harbor. It is the conscious steering of your imagination away from what is and toward what you desire to be. This is why so many fail. They understand the principle, but they lack the will to embody it. They visit the state of their wish fulfilled, but they do not live there. Discipline is what turns a visit into a permanent residence. Feeling is the key, yes. But sustained feeling is the lockpick that opens every door. Anyone can feel successful for a moment. Anyone can imagine wealth for a fleeting second. But can you maintain that feeling in the face of an empty bank account? Can you hold the assumption of health while your body speaks of illness? That is the crucible. That is the test. Self-discipline is the guardian of your feeling state. It stands watch at the gates of your mind and allows only those feelings that belong to your fulfilled desire to enter. It is the sacred vow you make to your higher self. I will not betray my dream with a contradictory feeling. It is the highest form of self-love, the ultimate act of faith in your own creative power. This discipline isn't a chain. It is the force that breaks your chains. It liberates you from the prison of reacting to life and elevates you to the throne of creating it. So you see, this bridge isn't made of steel or stone. It's woven from the threads of your own attention, your own controlled imagination. The ability to remain in a state, to live in the feeling of being the person you want to be, is the entire secret. But this requires a deeper level of command. It requires not just the control of your thoughts, but the mastery of your reactions. The world will constantly present you with reasons to abandon your state, to fall back into the old patterns of thought and feeling. It will test your resolve. To truly become the master, you must cultivate a fortress within, a place of profound stillness and power from which you can observe the world without being moved by it. Here's what changes everything. This fortress you build within, it's forged in silence. In a world screaming for your attention, silence is the ultimate act of rebellion and the highest form of power. The truly successful have always understood this. They think much and they speak little. Why? Because words dissipate energy. Unnecessary talk leaks your creative power into the void, feeding the chaos of the outer world. Silence, on the other hand, is a container. It holds your intention, incubates your assumption, and builds a tremendous pressure in your inner world that must, by law, push its way into visible form. Your silence is a force field. It protects you from the doubts and fears of others. which are always seeking to find a crack in your armor. While the world is noisy, reacting, and scattered, you remain in your quiet center, calm, potent, observing. This is not emptiness. This is the fullness of your operant power, gathered and waiting for the precise moment of inspired action. To be calm is to be strategic. The fool reacts. A word, an event, a circumstance occurs, and he is immediately pulled out of his state, his energy hijacked, his power given away for free. He becomes a puppet dancing on the strings of the external world. But the wise man, the master of his consciousness, calculates. He observes the event from his unshakable inner sanctum. He understands that the event itself is neutral. It is his reaction to it that gives it power and meaning. By choosing not to react, by remaining in his chosen state of being, he forces the situation to bend to him, not the other way around. He knows that his true power lies in his ability to choose his response, to select the feeling that aligns with his fulfilled desire. This self-control is not weakness. It is the ultimate strategic advantage. While others are lost in the storm of emotion, he is in the eye of the hurricane, directing its path. This strength is not the absence of emotion. Oh no, that would be lifeless. It is the absolute mastery of emotion. Feeling, remember, is the key. Emotion is the fuel that creates reality. The undisciplined mind is burned by this fire, consumed by rage, fear, or despair. But the disciplined mind is a master blacksmith who uses the fire to forge the reality he desires. You have the power to choose what you do with this sacred fire. When an old feeling arises, a ghost from a past state, you are not required to entertain it. You can acknowledge it and then deliberately select the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is the great work. To feel wealthy when appearances show lack. To feel loved when you seem to be alone. To feel powerful when circumstances suggest weakness. This is not delusion. This is selection. This is you, the operant power, choosing what reality you will energize into being. Your greatest enemy then is not out there. It's not a competitor, a critic, or a challenge. Your greatest enemy is your own undisciplined mind, dominated by impulse. It is the part of you that wants to react, to complain, to worry, to doubt. It is the voice that says, look at the facts, be realistic. But realism is the prison of the past. Your imagination is the key to the future. Self-control is the act of liberating yourself from this inner tyrant. Every time you choose your state over the evidence of your senses, you weaken the tyrant and strengthen the king within. You reclaim your throne. This freedom, the freedom from compulsive automatic reaction, is the only freedom that truly matters. Once you have achieved it, the outer world becomes clay in your hands, ready to be molded by the sustained feeling of your assumption. When you cultivate this inner silence, this unwavering self-control, you begin to radiate an authority that needs no words. People feel it. Circumstances yield to it. This silent power is profoundly unsettling to those who live in chaos, because it proves that their prison is self-imposed. Your calm becomes a mirror showing them their own lack of control. And this leads to a fascinating phenomenon. The need to explain yourself simply falls away. You no longer seek validation from a world you are actively creating. But that's only the surface, and here you discover a profound freedom, the release from the need to explain yourself. This compulsion to justify your actions, your dreams, your very being, stems from a divided mind. It is the cry of an insecure state, begging the outer world of shadows to validate its existence. But when you truly assume a state, when you feel yourself to be the person you desire to be, you become one with it. I am. This is a statement of being, not a topic for debate. The sun does not explain why it shines. The ocean does not apologize for its depth. They simply are. Your new state of consciousness is a fact in the inner world, and you will find that the need to defend it dissolves. You move with a quiet certainty, a self-evident authority that requires no cosigner. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It is the peace that comes from knowing that your reality is born within you, not negotiated with others. The opinions of others then become what they always were, a luxury for the insecure, those who know who they are, who have defined themselves in the sacred space of their own imagination, have no need for external proof. They are not looking for a reflection in the eyes of the crowd, because they have already seen their true self in the mirror of their own consciousness. To seek approval is to confess that you are not yet convinced yourself. It is to hand over your operant power, making your inner state conditional upon the whims of others. Let them talk. Let them praise or condemn. It is all noise. It has no power over you, unless you allow it to enter your inner world and challenge your assumption. A master knows this. You know this. Your focus remains inward, on the feeling, on the state. You have selected your reality, and you are the only vote that counts. You will find that much of the criticism you receive is simply admiration that has lost its way. It is the confused cry of a soul that sees in you what it has failed to cultivate in itself. Your certainty, your focus, your silent discipline. These things highlight the lack of them in others, and this can breed resentment. Unjust criticism is a projection of the critic's own inner battle, their own unwon war against doubt and fear. They are not attacking you. They are attacking the reminder of the power they have abandoned. When you understand this, you cease to take it personally. You see it for what it is, a storm in another person's inner world. You can observe it with detachment, even compassion, but you do not let it touch you. You remain secure in your assumed state, untouched by the turmoil of those who have not yet claimed their own power. This is the silent disturbance. Your unwavering focus, your refusal to be pulled into drama and chaos, becomes a profound irritant to those who thrive on it. Your silence is loud. Your calm is unsettling. By simply continuing on your path, firm in your assumption and disciplined in your focus, you expose the weakness and stagnation of those around you without saying a word. You become a living testament to the fact that circumstance is not king, that the inner world is the only cause. This quietly dismantles their entire structure of excuses and justifications for their own lack of progress. Your success, born of inner work, inconveniences their narrative of powerlessness. They may not understand why you bother them, but it is the light of your conviction shining a light on the darkness of their own doubt. This silent, focused power becomes your identity. It is the signature of a true creator. You walk your path, and the world either adjusts to your frequency or clears a path for you. But this journey, this unwavering march is not without its trials. Life, the great teacher, must test the strength of your new assumption. It must be sure that you are truly ready to handle the responsibility of your desire made manifest. It will push against you, not to break you, but to see if you will hold your state. Now go deeper, and so you face the fire. This pressure, this pain you may feel, it is not there to destroy you. It is there to forge you. Gold is not purified by a gentle breeze, but by an intense flame. The challenges that arise after you have assumed your new state are the very fire that burns away the last remnants of your old self. They are the hammer blows that shape your consciousness into an unbreakable vessel for your desire. Most people run from this fire. They mistake the heat for a sign that their assumption is failing, when in fact, it is the very sign that the creative process is working. The pain is a signal of transformation. It only forges those who have the courage to stand still in the furnace, loyal to the vision in their inner world. It is the final purification of your faith in your own I am consciousness. Life must test your determination. It is a universal law. Before a great responsibility can be entrusted to you, your capacity to handle it must be proven. Your desire is a great responsibility. Can you remain faithful to your assumption of wealth when your senses show you lack? Can you embody the state of love when you feel utterly alone? This is the test. Life is asking you, are you certain? Do you truly believe you already are what you have claimed to be? Your persistence is your answer. Every moment you hold your assumption in the face of contradiction is a resounding yes to the universe. You are proving that you are no longer a victim of circumstances, but the master of your state. You are demonstrating that your loyalty is to the unseen reality within, not the fleeting shadows without. Pass this test and the reward is guaranteed. Persistence is the key that unlocks the miraculous. The miracle is not an event that defies law. It is the inevitable result of a law perfectly applied. The law is this: a sustained assumption, if persisted in, must harden into fact. There is always a bridge of incidents, a delay in time between your inner shift and its outer expression. This is where faith is tested, and where most people fail. They give up moments before the dawn. They plant their seed, and then dig it up every day to see if it's growing. But the one who persists, the one who does not stop, who continues to water the seed with the feeling of the wish fulfilled even in the dark soil of uncertainty, that is the one for whom the miracles happen. They don't stop when they are tired. They don't stop when it looks hopeless. They stop only when their assumption has become their magnificent reality. This quiet, unyielding persistence breaks down more barriers than any loud display of force. The world of effects is moved not by frantic struggle, but by unwavering being. Your power is not in fighting the old reality. It is in your calm, persistent return to your new reality. It is the quiet insistence in the face of all evidence to the contrary that I am that. This steady pressure of a controlled consciousness is irresistible. It dissolves obstacles, rearranges circumstances, and commands the elements of your world to conform to your assumption. You don't need to shout. You don't need to strive. You simply need to be and to persist in that being. The results do not come to those who fight the hardest, but to those who insist the longest in their chosen state. And this is where it all comes together. The mind you have mastered, the discipline you have cultivated, the silence you have embodied, and the indifference to the opinions of others. All of these forge the weapon of persistence. You are no longer swayed. You are no longer distracted. You have chosen your reality. You have entered the state of your wish fulfilled. You hold it with quiet confidence and you do not let go. You have faced the test and you have not flinched. You have walked through the fire. The reward is not something you are given. It is something that is revealed. It was always yours. You have simply persisted long enough to see it. You already are. The code is broken. The secret is out. This wisdom was never meant to be worshipped from afar. It was meant to be lived. You haven't just listened to words. You have remembered your power. So the only question that matters is, what truth are you going to live from starting right now? Let me know in the comments. What is the one assumption you are claiming today? Subscribe and turn on notifications because this awakening is just beginning. And if you think this was deep, the next video will take you to the very foundation of reality. Click it now and let's go deeper.